So today we're going to do this job here, the Nixie computer, which I have specified is going to be in this outfit, focus, and this one here, and it'll also be a part of that one as well. I also have another problem, which is that when one goes back in time, you'd need a decent and stable clock, you see, which can be difficult because if, for example, you're traveling backwards in time and your chronometer is out by even a couple of seconds, or good forbid, minutes, it can throw you out by a few years, you see. So if you want to go back to fix your mistakes, you're not going to visit the T-Rexes and whatnot. That is, unless, of course, all your mistakes can be fixed with a baseball bat to the primordial soup. We're going to build ourselves a nice and accurate chronometer. What is the difference between a chronometer and a chronologer? Well, one uses crystals to tell the time, and the other uses science. So, show you what I mean, is we are going to, again, turn that on. Tune that one up. Right, we're all good to go. Basically, I'm just going to pop back in time to sort out my Bitcoin stocks. And hopefully, if all goes well, we'll have some nice funds for the rest of the project. Away we go! Alright, so we have time travelled. Let's ask someone around here if what year it is. He's playing with a fidget spinner, so it must be 2013, right?
I'm sorry, what? 2013?
Yeah.
I'm confused. 2034. You know that, right?
Oh, you see what I mean? It's really annoying. Anyway, so let's design the thing.
This video is brought to you in the nick of time. Okay, so we're going to start out here with a basic design of a box, which is going to house all of the Nixie tubes that we want to put in there. And then I'm thinking we're going to have some sort of a control panel type thing that's going to go on our arm. Kind of like a steampunk version of
this thing I wear on my wrist.
But yeah, we're going to have a bunch of controls on there that we can activate all the temporal components and circuitry. We're going to have some nice, cool, like, circuit pipey things on the bottom, which would be awesome. We're definitely going to need a clasp to latch it around our arm. And we're going to have various other greebles and details, such as vents, exhausts, and various gears poking around. We're yet to figure that out.
That is what I'm thinking. Okay?
The basis for this chronometer is going to basically be this Nixie clock that I bought off Amazon. So that is going to be what controls the actual Nixie tubes inside of our device here. And this is a simple little thing which runs on 5 volts, so it's super easy to power with any kind of a phone charger battery bank. So we can plug that in nice and easy to the Sparky control box we made in a previous episode. And the Nixie tubes are just going to plug straight in there. Plus there's some nice RGBs to make it look really nice. We're going to quickly take this apart because the only component we really need out of this is the circuit board. But we are going to also use the acrylic casings to help us model the actual 3D printed housing, which is we're going to put around the whole thing.
So what we're going to do first is we're going to fit these tubes in. And these tubes are a pain in the bum because they've got, well, how many pins in the backside of them? And they've got to line up with these pins. And yeah, you've got to do it ginger carefully to not snap any of the pins, bend any of the pins, and they've all got to locate in, otherwise they won't work. And there we go. It's so cool, isn't it? So now that we have this thing, the clock face, what we're going to do is I'm going to offer this up to my arm here, and I'm going to measure the depth of it here and the depth of it here, and we're going to import those into CAD. I just need my vernier calipers. Sparky? Do you know where my vernier calipers have gone?
あったんだよメイクインがこの秋葉に。
優勝したと連絡を受けてね。
お前はその町を誰よりも愛していた。
携帯にも出ないので探していたんだよ。
秋葉は萌えにあふれた町だったんだ。
So, we're going to start adding some of the hardware onto our 3D print. A little technique I found works really well, with especially some of these thermoplastics, is literally heating up things like nails and driving them through otherwise where you would screws, and using heat set inserts. I also found a really nice brass clasp that we can put on there, which really adds to the aesthetic, and that again is put in place with the heat set nail technique. It's just nice and easy, and it holds that on really securely. One thing we do have to worry about though, especially in this, is the big sharp nails that then end up sticking out into the arm piece, which is definitely going to make that a little bit less comfortable to wear. However, we'll come in later on, snip those down and polish up the inside, get rid of all those burrs, and we'll line it with some neoprene in there just to protect ourselves. We're going to certainly add some really nice lighting to the back of this thing to really make the backside pop on this one. Now I've gone ahead and modelled this vacuum tube holder, and I modelled it just a little bit too tightly, and unfortunately one of the tubes broke, which is something I was deathly scared of, because these tubes aren't too hard to come by, but they're hard enough that, you know, I want to preserve as many as I can. And you'll definitely notice that happening when the silver bit at the top turns white. But after I work that out, we've got a nice thing that holds these 3 tubes in place and the clock. And we're going to use a good old technique that we learned from Sparky with the rub and buff to kind of fill in some of those layer lines, give it a nice metallic patina to it, and just generally make it look better than a 3D print that's just come off my printer. One nice thing about modelling everything into a CAD software is I can literally click the face of the recess that the brass plates are going to go into, and I can export that into my engraver, cut it out, file it down, and sync it in, and it's perfect fit every time, which is really nice. Right, so here we are, putting some of the features on with some of these heated inserts. So here we are, I found this really cool technique of adding a sewing bobbin, threading some wire through in a spidery type fashion, and then I can bend and flex all of these copper wires into a spidery type motif. I think I've liberated the copper piping from an old transformer someone was throwing away.
As you can see, it's finished, it's working, it's all online. Date here. It's time to take this thing for a spin. So I'm going to take it to a trip to the year 3000, because why not? And yeah, we'll see what life is like in the future. Alright. Here we go. It's not working. Why would that not be working? I just left out a really crucial detail. Hang on a second. We have this, and I think 1000 microfarads should do. 25 volts, probably be fine. There we go. Let's plug that into here. Away we go. From our little trip to the future. And, well, I can indeed tell you a few things. That, first of all, yes, a lot of folk do actually, in fact, live underwater. That's what you get for climate change. I did also happen to stop by and meet my great-great-great-granddaughter. And, she's doing okay. So, with that, I see you in the next video, and have fun making the things. So yeah, all in all, I'm pretty proud with how this thing turned out. It looks cool. Oh wait, hang on a minute. Oh hey Sparky. Where did you go? Hey, found my verniers. Nice one, dude. I mean, took you long enough, but, well, thank you.